Hello everyone, I am your psychology buddy here to make psychology easy and interesting for you all. If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out. And if you face any kind of difficulty, write in the comment box, I will try to solve it. So today we are going to study Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Piaget was a Swiss psychologist who developed this cognitive development theory of children. So the first stage is sensorimotor stage, which starts from the birth and lasts up to 18 to 24 months. So the first point is use of reflex. Birth to 1 month. Newborn respond to the world through inborn reflexes such as sucking, grasping and looking. These are not learned behaviors but automatic responses. A baby sucks when a nipple or bottle is placed in their mouth, grabs a caregiver finger when it brushes their palm. Palmer grabs reflex. So the behavior done by the newborn baby is not intentional or goal oriented, rather is a pure reflexive behavior, and we all know that reflexive is a type of survival instinct. It helps us to survive. The reflexive behavior help us to survive, because if there was no reflexive behavior, the baby could not suck the food or the milk. And the second point is primary circular reactions, 1 to 4 months. Infant accidentally discover actions involving their own body that feels pleasurable and start repeating them. These actions are focused on the infant's body. A baby discovers thumb sucking and keep doing it because it feels soothing, kicking their legs and watching them move. So in this primary circular reaction period, the baby discovers actions that are pleasurable to them, but the actions or the behavior that they are doing, it is restricted to their own body rather than the environment. They don't discover the environment, rather they are restricted to their own body, and these are repetitive self-focused actions without understanding of cause and effect. They don't know about the cause and effect relationship, rather it is not also goal oriented behavior. They do all this kind of behavior or repetitive actions because they feel pleasurable. The third point is secondary circular reaction, 4 to 8 months. Infant begins to interact intentionally with their environment. They repeat actions that produce interesting effect in the external world. Shaking a rattle to hear the noise, banging toys together to make sound, smiling to get attention from adults. Now in this secondary circular reaction period, the baby knows about the environment, they explore the environment, and thus they do repetitive actions that produce interesting effects in the external world. And so the key concept is awareness begin to extend beyond self. Baby learns they can affect their environment. The fourth point is coordination of secondary circular reaction, 8 to 12 months. Infant starts to show goal-directed behavior. They combine multiple actions to achieve a purpose. Objective permanence begins to develop. Pushing aside a pillow to retrieve a hidden toy, crawling to reach a parent who is calling them, using one object like a stick to reach another object out of the reach. ऑब्जेक्ट परमानेंस का मतलब क्या होता है? पहले होता था क्या, बच्चे लोग जब पैदा होते हैं उसे पता नहीं है, लाइक इफ़ देयर मदर इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम दे नो दे आर प्रेजेंट, बट जब उस बेबी का मदर उसके सामने प्रेजेंट नहीं होता था तो द बेबी यूज टू थिंक दैट देयर मदर इज़ नॉट इन दिस वर्ल्ड, मीन्स वो वैनिश हो गया, उसका मदर इज़ नॉट प्रेजेंट एट ऑल. सो इन दिस ऑब्जेक्ट परमानेंस फेज के बाद क्या होता है, बच्चे लोग को पता है कि मदर अपने सामने नहीं है, फिर भी मदर इन दिस वर्ल्ड प्रेजेंट है, वो कहीं नहीं गई है, जस्ट उसके सामने नहीं है. सो दिस इज़ अबाउट ऑब्जेक्ट परमानेंस. एंड in this coordination of secondary circular reaction period, the baby combine multiple action to achieve a purpose. It is, you have to understand that in this coordination of secondary circular reaction, it is a goal directed behavior to achieve something or to achieve a goal, like crawling to reach a parent who is calling them, or pushing or using an object like a stick to reach another object out of reach. The key concept is intentional behavior and early problem solving. they try to solve problem, and these are all intentional behavior. The fifth point is tertiary circular reactions, 12 to 18 months. Toddlers actively experiment with different actions to see how outcome changes. They are little scientists testing the world, dropping toys from different height to see what happens, splashing in water with hands, then feet, then toys, trying different ways to open a box. Here they try to experiment with the environment and to see how the outcome changes, like the little scientist. And the key concept here is trial and error experimentation. Curiosity and creativity grows. Here in this tertiary circular reaction period, like the babies are given with puzzles or blocks, and they try to do that all the puzzles and blocks. They make car or something like that, they make train. So all these are in this period only, and in this period they learn things through trial and error, and their curiosity level also grows. The last one is mental coordination, 18 to 24 months. Toddlers start forming mental images of objects and events. They can think about things without acting them out. This marks the beginning of symbolic thoughts. Pretending a banana is a phone, symbolic play, imitating actions of others. Searching for a toy that was moved while out of sight, full object permanence. So here what happens is that a mental image of an object is created, or an event is created in the baby's mind. So the baby could mentally think of that object or event and could do. मैं एक एग्जाम्पल बताती हूँ, लाइक वो जो पजल होते हैं ना, वो जो शेप्स में कट हुआ होता है, सो बच्चे लोग को वो देते हैं, तो क्या करते हैं बच्चे लोग, दे ट्राई टू फाइंड द राइट होल फॉर द राइट शेप एंड दे जस्ट सक्सीड. सो वो जो शेप का इमेज है वो एक एज अ इमेज मेंटल इमेज क्रिएट हो गया बच्चे के माइंड में. सो एंड देन द बेबी परफॉर्म द टास्क. So here the key concept is internalized thinking and beginning of imagination and memory. And here the baby could imagine things, and because they could imagine things, they pretend that the banana is a phone. It is a kind of imagination only, we all know. And they also, and memory also developed, like in this stage babies try what happened in school or what happened in the park to their parents. This all is a type of cognitive development only. Pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. In this stage, the child is not ready to mentally operate or manipulate object or use logic for thinking. So it is called pre-operational stage. So the first point is symbolic play. Children begin using words, images and symbols to represent objects that are not physically present. It has 3 stages. Decentration, the children initially feed themselves and bath themselves. With time, the symbolic play become less self-centered. So the actions are directed towards their doll, like feeding the doll or dressing the doll. Like we know that children initially क्या करता है children, that they feed themselves or they bath themselves with their own. But as decentration occurs, like they do the same behavior to their dolls. Like we know ना, बच्चे लोग like उन डॉल्स के साथ खेलते हैं, तो like वो डॉल्स को फीड करते हैं, फिर ड्रेस करते हैं डॉल को. That's the same thing. Deconceptualization, gradually the child pretend that it will be pain is a spoon or a banana is a mobile. Like they think they pretend or they think that something is the other thing, like the pain is a spoon and they try to eat with that pain, or a banana is a mobile. तो जब हम छोटे थे तब हम क्या करते थे, वो जो घर खेलते थे ना, तो हम लोग घर बनाते थे, फिर हम लोग वो जो और कुछ like we used to like use leaves, flowers to cook and all that. It is a kind of deconceptualization only. So, and another is social dramatic play. The play become more complex in the form of social dramatic play by 2.5 years. So the next point is drawings. The cognitive development and cultural influence are expressed through drawings. The scribbles. Around 18 months, the infant draw lines that are usually scribbles on pages. Like there is no shape and nothing. They just make something. They just do scribble around the pages. There is no goal or no intention of drawing something. Then they started to draw recognizable figures or shapes. Around age 3, children draw recognizable shapes like some random marks on a page and reassembling them as noodles. Also, children draw a line to represent the boundaries of an object. This is the most important point here. Like the children learn to draw the boundaries of an object. Now they could differentiate which is the object and which is the background, which is the most important thing in perception. And more realistic drawing. Realism develops here. 5 and 6-year-old creates more complex drawing containing more conventional human and animal figures with head and body differentiation. Now they could easily draw a human figure with head, with eyes, with nose and etc. and with bodies, with hands and everything. Then the next point is egocentrism. Children have difficulty seeing things from another person's perspective or point of view. The 3 mountain tasks, it was given by Piaget. So let's learn what is this 3 mountain tasks. A child is shown a model of 3 mountains, each with a different object. Example, a house, a tree and a snow on different sides. The child sits on one side of the model. मतलब यहाँ पर एक mountain का model है and there is a house here, or there is a tree on the other side, or there is snow on this side, and the child sits on one side of the, here is the child sitting on one side of the model and a doll is placed on the another side, like this side. Okay, and the child is asked, what does the doll see? So the child tells what they themselves see, not the doll. Here the child sees like a house, so the child will say that the doll is seeing the house. But in reality, we could say that the doll can see the tree because the tree is present on the doll side and house is present on the baby side. Because the baby is having an egocentric thinking, so they can't say what the doll sees. Rather, they only say what they themselves sees. They assume that everyone sees the world just like they do. Okay. The next point is animism. Believe that inanimate objects have feelings, thought or intention. The sun is happy today. My teddy is sad because I didn't hung him. Yeah, children used to do like this. Because I'm giving you another more example. Like if a children get hurt by a door or some floor, and a mother or her father or a parents told maar diya us floor ko, maar diya us door ko, then the children become happy because they think that they have life. And as they hurt the child, so because of their parents hurting that door and the floor, they become happy for that. Centration. And next point is centration. Focusing on one aspect of a situation while ignoring others. Example, if a child sees 2 rows of coins, one spaced more apart, they may think that the longer row has more coins even if both have the same number. Let us take an example. Like here is a 1 row of coin which has space between these 2, and here is another which has no space between 2, but they have same number of coins. But the child will say that here the coin is more because it is longer than this rather than this, because they focus on one aspect, not the other aspect. They can't focus on that there is a space between these coins. They only see that which one is longer. So it is centration. The next point is lack of conservation. Children do not understand that properties like volume, number or mass stay the same even when their form changes. Example, when water is poured from a short white cup into a tall narrow glass, they believe that taller glass has more water. They don't understand the volume or the number or the mass, so it becomes difficult for them to understand when the water is poured from one jar to another jar. So they will tell that the water in the large jar is more than the water in this jar, like this short white jar. Irreversibility. Inability to mentally reverse a sequence of events. Example, the child is unable to mentally go back to see that water level becomes the same when the water poured in the short wide glass from the tall narrow glass. So here what happens is that the water is poured from this short broad glass to the tall narrow glass, and the child will say that the water level is same. The water level is more in this tall narrow glass. Here the child could not go back to the steps to see that the water level is same in both this glass. They could not reverse the situation or the events to see this. So they tell that the water level is more on the tall narrow glass. The video ends here. Hope you like it.